Hey everyone. What I wanted to talk about today is bumblefoot. It is a pretty common thing that happens to backyard flocks because it's a foot issue. The chickens' feet are typically soft and really smooth, actually. And because they do everything on their feet, they jump around a lot. They run everywhere. They jump on each other even when they're playing. They can get a foot injury. So whether it's a cut, a scrape, or anything like that, or it's just from jumping too much down pressure because of the weight of their body, if they get a sore on the bottom of their foot, then it can turn into what's known as bumblefoot. And most people don't realize that there's a problem until the chicken has like a dark brown, black kind of scab on the bottom of their foot. And it's really important that you treat that because it's actually a staph infection. And if you don't treat it, then it can run up the foot into the leg, into the bones, and it could actually even kill the chicken. So there are two schools of thought to treating it. There's surgery and there's natural. I kind of do a hybrid of the two. Surgery would be taking a scalpel and cutting out all of the infection, cutting the scab off and pulling all the infection out and then wrapping the foot. I don't really do it that way. So here's how I handle it because I don't really like the idea of cutting into a healthy foot. I mean, yes, it has an infection, but I'd rather just not cut into it. So this is what I do. I get a plastic tub that is probably 6 inches tall, and I go and get a rock of some sort. You can either get a rock or a landscape stone. I purchased a landscape stone only because it's flat on the top. I couldn't find a rock that was quite flat. I put that rock in the bottom of the plastic tub because hens don't like plastic. They can't grip on it with their feet and they feel like they're not stable. So I put the landscape stone in there just for them to stand on. And then I put water in there and I use regular Epsom salt, just for people. Same thing. You can get it at, Walmart or anywhere. I use Epsom salt and I give them a saltwater soak with their feet for about 20 minutes. And what that does is it softens that scab on the sore. And then, and it's really not a problem actually to keep them occupied to stand there for 20 minutes. My girls actually like to watch stuff on Facebook. I just scroll around and different movement keeps them entertained for the 20 minutes. And before you know it, 20 minutes is gone. So then I take them out of the Epsom salt bath and I dry their feet off. And then usually I can just pull the scab right off. And if you pull slow and steady, the infection will come with it because an infection in a chicken isn't like liquid and oozy like it is for people. It's harder. Not even like cottage cheese. It's more, it could be a little stringy, but it's more like a hard nodule. So if you're really careful, you can pull the whole thing out. And then once I get that all cleaned out good, then I use Vetericin. I spray that on it because that is an antiseptic. It'll keep it clean. And then I put green goo on it. And that's green goo is, I'm probably holding it upside down. Green goo is a natural salve that it's just a first aid salve. So it just helps with healing. But for bumblefoot specifically, I use this Bumblefoot remedy from Moonlight Mile. And that's because I'll put a couple of drops on the bumblefoot itself, on the sore, and then I'll put like 8 to 10 drops in their mouth. And I'll do that every day until it's healed. And after I put the Bumblefoot remedy on the sore, then I wrap it because I don't want the Vetericin or the green goo to rub off. I kind of glop it on. And I want it to stay there until it absorbs into the sore so that it helps it heal. So in order to keep it there, I put a little piece of gauze, like a typical gauze pad from a first aid kit. And you can cut them if they're too big. So I put a little piece of gauze on it. I use the vet wrap, just like when you give blood, that stretchy wrap that sticks to itself. That's called vet wrap. I use that to wrap the gauze on, and the gauze is just there to hold the green goo and everything on so it can't rub off too fast. And then if it's summertime, when they've got ice out there and they're going to be getting their feet wet, then I use the waterproof first aid tape on top of the gauze, just to try to keep it dry so that everything stays on. And that's what I do naturally. It does take a little longer to heal, but I would rather it take longer and it be natural than to have to do like full-blown surgery and actually, cut all that out of their foot. So that is my tip for you today about how to deal with bumblefoot, how to, what to look for and how to treat it. And I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, definitely pop them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. So have a good day and I'll catch you on the next one.